Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
Have you ever heard people refer to some godforsaken place? They're usually referring to someplace dreary, miserable, or remote, far from where they want to be. Maybe you feel like that's where your life is right now. The people of Judah probably used a similar phrase when they were sent into captivity in Babylon, far from their homeland, far from the holy city, far from the temple, and in their minds, far from God. In fact, they were actually just as far from God in Judah as they were in Babylon, not physically, but spiritually. As God described them to Ezekiel, they were a rebellious nation that had rebelled against Him, continually sinning against Him. He called them impudent, stubborn, hard-hearted. But even after all those adjectives, they could not be called God-forsaken. They had left God by choice and been forced out of God's special land. But God was still among them. We know this because Ezekiel 1:4 says, "The word of the Lord came expressly to Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Babylonians by the river Chebar. And the hand of the Lord was upon him there." Yeah, even in the land of their captivity, God had not forsaken them. Even in His anger and wrath, He was with them. And He sent Ezekiel to them as His spokesperson. The name Ezekiel means strengthened by God. And that's what God did. Right there in that remote place, among those miserable captive people, God showed up. He gave Ezekiel a vision of His throne room, gave Ezekiel words to say to the people. Ezekiel was so amazed that God showed up there that he recorded several times, "The hand of the Lord was upon him there." So if you are in that place, feeling forsaken and alone, even if you're the one who got yourself there, like the Jews had, just know that you are not alone. The Lord promised He'd never leave you or forsake you. And unlike Ezekiel, you don't have to wait for a vision to go to God's throne room. You can come into His presence any time in prayer. If we come to Him humbly, with confession and repentance, turning from whatever sin that separated us from Him in the first place, He will welcome us with open arms. His love for us is that strong. And as He did Ezekiel, He will strengthen us to do His will, even in that remote place. He'll walk with us through whatever we have to face. The Jews still had decades of captivity facing them. They still had consequences of their sin to live out. But through Ezekiel, they heard the bad news of those consequences, as well as the good news of God's ultimate plan for them and His presence with them. You are not God-forsaken. He is with you. Isn't that good news?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to share a treasure God has given you by doing an episode, please contact us. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you'll find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.